gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on? It is Soggy Boy back at you with another episode of Garbage Time. With me today, I have Nick. I have James, or I did have James. I have James. There we go. There he is. Just to let everyone know, James is having mic issues, so if he goes in and out, please excuse him.
I fucking got rid of that bullshit. We're good.
Oh, just full send. All right. Well, James is still having mic issues because he's a bad boy. So if he goes in and out inexplicably, maybe somebody else might mute him. Who knows? You'll know why. Anyways, we have a very interesting episode for you guys. Something I cooked up myself. So we're gonna do a little preseason talk. We had our big preseason episode two or 3 weeks ago. So just going to get a little mix of preseason in preparation for 2 weeks from now when we have the first, or 2 weeks, 1 day, we have the Chiefs and the Lions open up the NFL regular season. And then I wanted to talk to you guys, the fans of Bodaites. Sure. Yeah, work in progress, fine. It could be Sogites, so you just be happy that I didn't say that. Yeah, see? About all the football content that we have planned for the upcoming season, fantasy-wise, betting-wise, all of that. That'll come up later, but let's get into the nitty-gritty here of football preseason, week 3 coming up. But I wanted to ask you guys, so obviously 2 weeks of preseason football in the books. It's been crazy. I mean, with the amount of injuries that I've seen and the severity of some injuries that we've seen. What's the most shocking thing you've seen so far from preseason?
Honestly, if I'm going to be honest here, it's the backup quarterbacks. These quarterbacks that are battling for like the quarterback 2 spots have been so fun, like irrationally fun and like miles better than their competition. It's fun. It's just a lot of fun. Like fucking Aiden O'Connell out in Vegas is doing great things. Dorian Thompson-Robinson and the fucking Browns. I said in the Brown is doing great things. My God, I can't think of his name. Stetson Bennett's been fine, I guess. Whatever. He looked average.
Whatever.
Tanner McKee out in Philly is looking good. Like none of these guys are gonna start. Maybe Aiden O'Connell has the best chance, but they all look fun and they're fun to watch.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you.
Jalen Hyatt.
Yeah. I mean, especially with. I'm getting a little taste of it here too with. Malik Cunningham, a little taster,
dude.
So is he going to play receiver during the season, right?
Could you can he could take any roster spot feasibly. Yeah. Not any roster spot, but he could take a wide receiver roster spot. He could take a QB roster spot, and play any position that he really wanted to.
Interesting.
So. That was on the offensive line.
That was the Malik Cunningham that like existed in college, and it's fun to see it translate. But I really do just think that ends with the preseason. He is very accident prone. He's very good. He's high.
Yeah, I'm sure he is, but he does have the tools to be a decent player. He did. I mean, he had that only one preseason game where we saw him play. I mean, we might have seen him in the second game. Obviously, was cut short to that injury, but he did have one pass off the back foot, scrambling out of the pocket, in the hands of a now cut Trey Nixon. So I don't know. Little flashes, little flash of the pan, but is it going to translate to anything? Probably not. Is it fun as hell to fucking watch? Yeah, for sure. So, what about you, Nick? What shocked you the most?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, James.
No, I don't really have that much to say, to be honest.
Fair enough.
I have been particularly excited. enjoyed watching the rookie receivers play during this preseason. We've had very little of it, but what they've shown so far, it's been fun. And we'll talk about it later. But for me, Zay Flowers looks good.
Oh my god,
he looks really good. And honestly, and I'm not just saying this because they're on the same team, but he looks comparable to OBJ with the way he moves and the way he cuts and his speed. It's gonna be fun. And if OBJ is half of what he is, from what he's been, it's gonna be fun watching those two play opposite sides of each other.
I mean, I agree that touchdown clip that you posted the other day, James. I mean, the lateral cut speed is spicy.
It's just so absurd. We talked about this when we were talking about our top fives. Zay Flowers is a small human. He is a tiny boy, but he plays so above his size and also perfectly at his size. He is shifty and also jumps up at the point of cat. Like, he shouldn't be able to do that. He's such an enigma. It's fun. Football's fun. I love football. Oh god, getting that good gut feeling.
Well, yeah, I mean, it'll be really fun to watch him, especially with the caliber and just type of quarterback that Lamar is. I mean, there's going to be so many types of plays that they're going to be able to run because they have a guy like Zay Flowers now in that offense. So, although it didn't do them any favors, their 24-game preseason win streak was snapped.
Damn, RIP.
Yeah, whatever. It's not like it did them any favors. So, wonder when the last time they lost a preseason game was. I was thinking about this the other day. I wonder if they lost the preseason game for the last time when they won the Super Bowl.
Holy hell.
I wonder, you think that's right?
Probably.
Let me look it up. Let me get that stuff.
24, they were what, 24-0 until...
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We've had three preseason games, the last 2 years? So it's been 4.
Right. It's probably not 2012. They probably haven't won all those games since then because that seems a little too much. But probably like 2017
7 years.
15.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess. But
dated back to 2015.
Oh, 15. Okay. All right. Well, so there you go. There you have it, people. Wow. I mean, that is a crazy streak. It is
still preseason, but crazy nonetheless.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
And there he goes.
You're kidding. He swiped away again, dude. My God, this kid.
4.
Here he is.
I gotta stop touching stuff when I'm doing the podcast. It's literally just it's always my mouse. It's just my mouse. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna move.
Question for you guys: Have you seen anything about Quentin Johnson? I haven't heard anything about him during this preseason.
I haven't really heard a lot, to be honest. That's a good point, though, when you say that.
Because I've heard, JSN, he had that big catch last week. Jesus. He had that big catch last week, and now he has, a wrist injury, and he might be ready week 2, week 3, maybe.
Is that an inside source, James?
Mm-hmm. JSN porn addiction coming in hot.
The Adam Schefter of the northeast section of Massachusetts.
I'm the Adam Schefter of fake news.
Oh, that would be great. That would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think I saw Quentin Johnson play in a game, and he looked pretty good. I want to say it was the first preseason game. I mean, as far as the other two go, I mean, obviously, I don't think I've seen much, if anything, from Jordan Addison.
I've seen him. So I don't know if it was last week or the week before, or week 1, but yeah, I saw he made like a 20-yard catch. Excuse me, and he looked good. He exploded. He jumped and he caught the ball. Like I said, JSN has shown very little. Zay Flowers we talked about, but Quentin Johnson for me, I haven't really heard much. So
I'm just saying, who's not getting enough love? The guy that they ended up sitting out so they didn't hurt him because he had hamstring tightness. Tank Dell. Tank Dell's a playmaker.
I watched it firsthand when they played the Patriots, and he is a good playmaker. He is. It's a very good pickup for the Texans.
Yeah, he's about to be their like wide receiver one. He's about to be their like when Julian Edelman was a wide receiver one for the Patriots, just the slot guy, just disturbing people. Yeah.
All dependent on CJ, see how he does.
Speaking of rookie wide receivers, and obviously this is going to be home bias, but I'm having a hard time finding a way to not keep both Kayshon Boutte and Demario Douglas on this team.
No, I don't disagree with you.
I'm assuming you saw the catch. Wait, you posted that catch, didn't you?
I posted the catch,
yeah.
baby.
Oh my God, the speed off of that slant, that catch, how crisp that route was. I mean, oh my God, that is exactly what the Patriots need. They don't have that crispness anymore.
Like I said, he could be a steal, and apparently he's been great in just off-field stuff. Like he's been studying the hell out of the playbook. He's been that guy in the locker room. Great to see, because everything we saw out of college was he was an arrogant prick. So for him to turn over a new leaf, like, great, love that. But I don't know if I'm necessarily 100% sold on it yet.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I mean, he's showing sparks of what we saw of him in college in preseason, which is great, fine. It doesn't guarantee you a roster spot. And, you know, I think it's really funny. We haven't seen much of Demario Douglas in preseason, but in camp, I mean, I can't even – I don't even know if I could count on my fingers how many times I've seen a report that Demario Douglas is the alpha in that room.
Not shocking. He's a victim of helmet scouting. I like Demario Douglas a lot. He was a guy I was going to fucking report. It's always like there's a couple guys like that each year that I was going to do like a draft diamonds on, and I just like ran out of time for one reason or another. Life gets caught up. Yeah. And I'm not going to pretend sit on my high horse like, I knew Demario Douglas, but Demario Douglas was on that radar.
Well, I mean, clearly you have a good eye, because it seems like he is going to carve out a role on this roster for himself, and just the way that he's conducting himself with OTAs and practices, and you know, obviously it hasn't translated over to preseason. He didn't play the first preseason game at all. The second preseason game he played maybe like 5 or 6 snaps, but everything that is coming out of camp about Demario Douglas is extremely positive. At a time when the Patriots need extremely positive feedback about wide receivers and need that in their wide receiver room. So,
no, you guys could really use to hit on a couple late round wide receivers, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
Or the Patriots stack up and go spend some money and go get a receiver.
They could. I mean, they could, but you have to think about it like this, though. Last year, they had no offensive coordinator. I know I'm going to beat this drum until it's dead, or whatever the hell saying that I want to go with there. Don't read too much into that. They had no offensive coordinator last year. They have an offensive coordinator this year. I mean, look at how they used Kendrick Bourne. Look at how they used Hunter Henry the first year with Mac Jones when they had an offensive coordinator. They were good. They didn't have what?
Nothing. My thing just glitched and you yelled at me. It was very weird.
Weird. They had a competent offense. Nothing on Mac Jones. I think he's serviceable. I think he's fine. But it's really how the weapons are utilized in a system. Well, there was no system last year. Now there is. This is your first full year of having Devontae Parker in an actual offensive system. Kendrick Bourne looks a lot better than he did last year. And you have those 2 rookies that you could lean on. The one thing that does suck, obviously. Well, sorry, go ahead. I was going to say the one thing that sucks is Jacoby Myers is out of your system, and you add a bum. I don't want Juju, but whatever. I'm stuck with him.
He's going to be hurt most of the season anyway. He's going to get liquid straight from his knees.
I'm hoping I'm not hoping injuries on anyone, but I hope one of those 3 wide receivers can take a step back and we can infuse a rookie into the offense. It needs to
That's
happen.
the way it should go, because I'd be shocked if Juju goes off for 1,000+ yards this year and multiple touchdowns. I think it's just not going to happen.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, again, it's just like a bunch of glorified slot wide receivers. You know what I mean?
And I think the Patriots are going to be heavily focused on using their 2 running backs this year.
I mean, that in of itself is intriguing because they have a bona fide 2-headed monster in the back.
And you can win games with
you can absolutely win games like that. I mean, you're turning it into a I want to say Kevin O'Connell, but a Kevin Stefanski type offense with a lot of play action, a lot of ground and pound, right? They have 2 backs that can do that.
Anyway.
What's that?
Right? New England, it has always been, well, I mean, not always, but for the better part of the last 5-ish years, they've been a run-first team.
Absolutely, they have, especially with that last Super Bowl against the Rams. They were a run-first offense, and they sprinkled in the pass when they wanted to and when they could. And that was effective enough when they had a really good defense to win them a Super Bowl, right? So, they had a really good defense 2 years ago, and they were a more balanced type attack, and it was good. They made the playoffs, but they couldn't manage anything. Last year, we all know what happened last year. I'm not going to beat this into the ground anymore, but you have an actual offensive system that is being run this season. You have Ramondre Stevenson and Ezekiel Elliott, both of whom have run for 1,000 yards in their career, both of whom have the tools to do so again. Zeke, less so than Ramondre. But Ezekiel Elliott seems like, and is really weird because I never thought I would say this, is going to be your receiving back.
He is.
He's your receiving back. He's going to get you those tough 2 to 3 yards in the red zone, on third down, on short situations. He is going to be able to get you those yards. So I'm excited to see that out of my team, utilizing both backs. And I think, honestly, both running backs are capable of being decent receivers out of the backfield. So they hopefully won't show their hand too much, depending on what personnel they have out. So I feel like in the past, some Patriots teams have been so predictable. If there's a certain wide receiver out, we know, okay, they're running a crack block or whatever. They're out there to block. Like Jonnu Smith. We had Jonnu Smith out in the field. He's blocking. It's not
useless.
Useless. Sack of
garbage.
Sand. Yeah.
He's in Atlanta and he's gonna do the same shit there.
Right, no kidding. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what they can come up with, and I'm excited to see Bill O'Brien and really get his hands on an NFL offense again and really just focus in on an NFL offense, which he hasn't done for a long time. So
I'm also excited to see what Bill O'Brien does with 2 tight end sets, especially with G in the system too.
Just they haven't had that athletic of a tight end. And I can't even say Gronk because Gronk is a completely different category.
Aaron Hernandez.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, 2-headed monster. That was a 2-headed monster.
What, the charges? Murder and...
Say what you want about Hernandez, but Hernandez was a freak athlete.
No, he was. He arguably, when they both came onto the team, I was more excited for him than I was Gronk at the time because of how athletic and strong that guy was.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, he used it to his advantage. On more than one account. So
that we know.
Well, yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I mean that's really what I'm excited for in my team and what I'm looking for my team. Utilizing both Ramondre and Zeke in a ton of different formations, and not being afraid to throw both of them the ball. Because if you can utilize both of them in pretty much any way, defenses aren't going to be prepared.
Mhm.
If you're just throwing the ball to Zeke and he's out there, then you can expect pretty much it's going to be a pass. So that's my team, James. You got any insight onto what your team's going for? What you're excited? Are you?
I mean, losing Jacob Phillips for the year really hurts. He's a great part of our defense, and our linebacking core is already pretty fucking weak. I will say I'm mostly just focused on the cuts. I want Cade York gone. That man peaked so
He's been
fast and burned out
bad.
so hard. Yeah.
I've never seen. I mean, obviously it's kicker, so let's temper our expectations. But like the rise to fame and then literally hit a cliff the next day.
Insane. Like just straight down. I want to see him gone, and I want to see Anthony Schwartz gone. I saw this, and I knew like Anthony Schwartz has a lot of drops. His drop rate, I don't know if it's supposed to be preseason. I don't know if it's all together. It was a comparison of him and Watkins, who Austin Watkins has gotten a lot of attention coming in. Anthony Schwartz has a 26% drop rate. How are you an NFL receiver with a 26, more than a quarter of the passes you like should catch are dropped, are on the fucking turf? I want him gone. I want him gone.
I don't blame you. That is an abysmal catch rate.
Especially with all the talent we have at wide receiver now. Like, what's the point? Cedric Tillman? Woo! Gone. Looks phenomenal. Also, not excited about losing Jerome Ford for a bit, but I think we have enough depth. We'll be fine. For the life of me, I can't fucking think of the UCLA running back we have. But I'm excited for the year. I think it's a big Nick Chubb year. I think Watson looks like old school, like ignoring the obvious, looks like old school, like improvising King Deshaun Watson. He looks good as fuck.
I mean, you had to assume he was going to gain some of that back. I mean, it's not like he had an injury or anything. He just wasn't playing.
Yep.
Right, it's age-old debate. Rust versus rust, and rust was.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing too. I mean, you start in the middle of season. It's kind of hard to get yourself acclimated, and at that point, I mean, it was just a lost cause. But you got a full preseason. Now you get a full season, so we'll see. But I mean, it seems like things are pointed up, and you get good quarterback play. You have a decent defense. Your run game is probably the best in the league.
I don't know about that, just because it's like,
I wouldn't say best in the league, but Nick Chubb is definitely.
It might have been when we still had Kareem, but yeah, it's top.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you did take a step down with losing Kareem Hunt, but all right, you have the best running back in the league. I'll say that.
I think a pure running back. Pure running back. Nick Chubb, the best running back in the league.
Absolutely, he's one of my favorites.
As far as modern, like receiving makes running backs, probably going to your boy, but
fair enough. Well, all right. We got Pats, we got Browns. What about Big Blue? What are you looking forward to? Are you nervous? How are you feeling?
I'm not nervous. I'm not going to say we're going to go out and win the Super Bowl, but I'm very excited for this team. Daniel Jones.
Super Bowl or bust is pretty much what I'm hearing right now.
No. If don't say that. If I think we're going to make the playoffs. I think we could be another wild card year, and I'm okay with that. If we go further, obviously, sure, the more the merrier. But this offense looks composed. Daniel Jones looks comfortable, and he looks excited to get the ball to Darren Waller. Last week during the Panthers-Giants game, I think Daniel Jones tossed the ball to Waller's way 4-5 times on the first drive, which is great to see. I mean, given health, we'll see how that goes. If he stays healthy, we can expect a full season of just Daniel Jones and Darren Waller combination. And again, I don't have our team putting up crazy numbers either. Like I don't think we're gonna have 1,000-yard receiver. Saquon's gonna be Saquon. He's gonna perform. In our defense, I've been saying this since like 2007. I want that ground and pound defense. I want guys like Justin Tuck and Osi Umenyiora and Strahan and Pierre Paul. And I think with Kayvon Thibodeau and Sexy Dexy, it's gonna be a good year for the defense. I'm very excited to see how my team performs.
Yeah, and fair expectations. I mean, you did make the playoffs last year and won a playoff game.
I think it's doable because the NFC it's not strong like the AFC.
And it's not like you didn't play a good team. So,
and our season's going to be put to the test because we have, I think, the second hardest schedule in all of football. So we'll see if we can perform.
All of the AFC East has the hardest schedule in football. So you're right there with the rest of us. Well, not James, but well, you're AFC North. It's a logistic thing. I don't know.
I know. Yeah.
But all right, great. Well,
maps, whatever.
Let's talk about league wide. So I want to know right off the bat a player that you're excited for coming into the season. It doesn't have to be a rookie. It can be whoever you want, but someone that you have been watching this preseason that you are excited to see perform in the regular season. James.
I already said it. I'm going to put my cards down on the table. I think Tank Dell is fucking amazing. I think it's going to be a real debate with this class between Tank Dell and Zay Flowers, the two like undersized guys. They're absurd. Like everything they're doing is absurd. They're playmakers. They're fun. They're fast. Either one of those guys, it's like a 1A, 1B. But I love what Tank Dell is going to do for a historically anemic Texans offense.
Fair enough. Nick, who are you excited for?
I mean, for preseason, we haven't seen a lot of like the starters, but like James said, I'm so excited to see Zay Flowers play. For like the season, let's see. I want to see Tyreek Hill break 2,000.
All right.
I think he can do it. I'm excited.
All right. I mean, if anyone can do it, it's him.
Absolutely.
Really, realistically.
Speed kills.
Yeah, no kidding. Just ask Henry Ruggs. I'm most excited for, at least coming into the season. I mean, it's going to be tough to say.
There you
You're
go.
kidding, right? You're kidding, right?
Again, what did he do?
It's going to be tough to say, so I'm going to disconnect. Yeah. I love that. It's just going to be tough to say.
What happened?
That's it.
What happened?
Oh,
Why does this keep happening?
That's me too.
I'm back. I hate this.
How tough
Why
is
is
it
this not?
that?
Why is my green screen no work?
We need to get sponsored by a good Wi-Fi company.
Oh, clearly. Well, everyone can see my memorabilia, but whatever. Yeah, player I'm most excited for. I'm excited for Bryce Young, first and foremost. Obviously have him in our rookie QB bet / draft. So I'm also really excited for Christian Gonzalez.
Ooh, the training camp stud.
I'm very excited for Christian Gonzalez.
You're putting a lot of weight on Patriots training camp. I'm not saying you're wrong for it, but you're putting a lot of weight on Patriots training camp.
I'm not putting weight on it necessarily. I'm just excited to see what he actually can bring in the regular season. I'm not using the preseason as a judgment to say he's going to be amazing. I put that out there before preseason.
You
I
did.
put that out there before.
You did.
So I'm just saying that I'm excited to see him in a regular capacity because he's shown that he can be good. He's a rookie, which is fine, but I want to see the alpha come out. I want to see it.
I think it's tough, dude. I was looking at the 1.2, like when I did the whole Christian Gonzalez post. The people he's been. You're
I'm
kidding,
here.
right,
I'm just
Zach?
trying to fix my camera. Don't worry.
You're kidding, right? What are you doing, Zach? What
I'm
is
trying to
going
fix
on?
my camera. Stop it.
I'm not doing anything.
No. I'm saying like I am trying to fix my camera, so you keep talking, and I'm gonna do the fixing. So.
Oh, all right, yeah, all right. Well, do your thing anyway.
Yeah.
So looking at it, right, like here's the matchups that Christian Gonzalez could potentially have going forward this year. First game, Eagles, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith. Second game, Dolphins, Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill. The Jets, take your fucking pick. Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb. Saints, Chris Olave. Might be more even than we expect, but Chris Olave is still Chris Olave. Raiders, Devontae Adams. Bills, Stephon Diggs. Dolphins, Hill and Waddle again. Commanders, take your pick. Colts, you're probably fine if we're going to be honest. Giants, Jalen Hyatt. Can he keep up with that speed? He should be able to. Steelers, George Pickens is going to punch him in the nose. Chiefs, I don't know who he's going to end up guarding in that one. We're going to find out who their wide receiver one is really quick. And then Jared Judy in for Cortland Sutton against the Broncos, Stephon Diggs, and then once again the Jets. Like, he does not have an easy go this year. It's going to be a very iron sharpens iron year for Gonzalez.
It is. You're absolutely right. I'm confident that he's going to do well.
I will say,
Not to say he's going to do anything near what I, want to happen, and obviously want him to shut down every single receiver he sees. But I mean, you can't be the best without playing the best. So I mean, you're right. It is going to be iron sharpens iron, and the best thing for him is to play the best talent. And he's getting the best talent this year in every single form, in speed, in size, in everything, strength. So
he's facing almost like a different breed of receiver each week. Like whether it's
exactly,
like speed or
and like the
running,
best category of that receiver every week.
Honestly.
So again, so that's what I'm saying. Like I understand it's a very tall task. Do I expect him to be perfect and do amazing? No. Do I expect him to be good and surprise a lot of people? Yeah, I do. I think he can match up well against some of the better tier receivers in the league. Not every single one of them, for sure. I mean, I know Stephon Diggs is going to give him a really hard time. He's one of the best all-around wide receivers in the league. But can he match up with some of the other really good wide receivers that are more one-trick ponies? Sure.
It'll be interesting to see him against Tyreek Hill matching that speed. I don't think he's near his speed. Honestly, I'm upset it's not on the docket this year. I would have loved to see a DK Metcalf versus Christian Gonzalez matchup. That
would be intense. That'd be good. I actually didn't even think about that until you said it.
That would be sick.
That would be entertaining.
I guess AJ Brown's like a solid consolation prize, but
that's fair. Cool. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Bryce Young, Christian Gonzalez. I just, again, not trying to be a homer, but
it's okay.
I was excited for him coming out of the draft, especially with what Bill Belichick has been able to do with top tier defensive talent. Just gets me going. Fantastic. Players you're nervous about going into the season?
Sorry, what was that? Players what?
Any players we're worried about heading into the regular season? Anything we've seen that we haven't liked that makes us nervous for their development / production?
I don't like any. Sorry, I'll jump in, Nick. If you want to go ahead. But
no, I called out people last time, but just free fall.
Good.
I will say I love Devin A. Shane. H. Chain. I always forget how to say it. Probably I always say like Asham. That's not it. It's
It's not
a
Asham.
chain. It's like a train, but a chain. I saw that somewhere. That's how I remember it. I am worried. I never like rookies missing training camp / preseason stuff. So like him being out with a shoulder injury indefinitely, not ideal. I love him. I really had him. I think I have to look back, but I think I had him up there as my like running back 3 in this class, in a very talented class.
3 or 4, yeah.
Something high. I was higher on him than consensus, but I don't love that he's missing time. No one else is really jumping off the page right now, if I can be honest.
I'm not trying to read into the preseason too much, but
Right, training camp only.
Shut the fuck up. CJ Stroud, he didn't look great in his first series. What?
This is the dangerous thing about CJ Stroud. This is what bites people and bit people in college. Like this is what almost dropped CJ Stroud. Is that he has these moments like I don't know about CJ Stroud, like whatever. And then the next fucking moment he gets to be like when you're like back against the wall, dude, balls out. Like to the nth degree balls out. Like I'm talking about college football playoff when they were like that close to winning the game. Like no one thought CJ Stroud stood a fucking chance in that game, and then here he is. If they could find a level of consistency for that, or even like meet in the middle, like CJ Stroud's gonna be fucking fantastic. I don't doubt on CJ Stroud.
I still have my reservations. I don't know. There's just something about the way that he plays. It doesn't compute with me. I don't know. But yeah, I think CJ Stroud, I'm most worried for him heading into the season. Just what I've seen and from practice and from preseason games. I don't know. Nick, anybody you're worried about?
I mean, as I said earlier, JSN with the wrist injury. I mean, it depends when he gets back. If he's able to play week 1, cool. But if he misses more time and it's going into like week 3 or 4, I think another year with Geno Smith and his 2 stud receivers, it might shoot him down on the wide receiver ladder for the team. It just might not be enough time for them to gel. So
yes, that's true. That's for sure.
Cool. Yeah, he's the only one I'm really nervous about, but there's not really much to go off of.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, especially when you don't have that time to develop, like you said, it just really kills any momentum, especially when you have 2 bona fide dogs in DK and in Tyler Lockett. I mean, Tyler Lockett is what, 30?
Close to it.
You got a dog and a half.
What do you mean?
I've always been so low on Tyler Lockett.
Why?
You and everybody.
He's had like
else.
7 1,000 receiving yard seasons in a row, dude. Why are you so low on him?
I know he's
He is the model of consistency for the wide receiver.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans is also the model of consistency for the wide receiver.
Yeah, but gun to my head, I'm going to take Mike Evans 10 times out of 10 over fucking Tyler
Great,
Lockett.
you can have more than one person that's a model of consistency, James. It's not A or B. It gets one A and one B. That's
it's expected. Fine. It's expected of Mike Evans. It hasn't been expected for Tyler Lockett the last five-ish years.
He was doing it when Doug Baldwin was around. He's doing it now that DK Metcalf's here, and he's probably going to be doing it up until next year when he dies. What else do you want?
I want to see DK
not literally die, figuratively. Just putting that out there because I don't want to be put on any more watch lists.
I want to see
after playing Gabbert.
DK leave Seattle and go to some team with a stud quarterback.
Where okay, so that's fair. Where does he go? I have one team in mind. I mean, that would fit the mold for exactly what you're saying.
Kansas City?
No. Screw that. Screw that noise. Absolutely not.
You just don't want to
Does
play
it
that.
fit the mold? Yes, but that's not happening. What about the Chargers?
I can see it. I don't think
Keenan's
Keenan
on his
Allen.
way out. Oh, what is that? Oh, hey, what is that face for? What is that face for?
I get it. I don't know how many you gotta diversify a wide receiver room. Like the Patriots having just straight slot receivers doesn't make sense. The fucking Chargers just having big dudes who can win 50-50 doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, but I mean, it's the stereotype, and it just keeps they just keep
And
replenishing the
Keenan
same
Allen.
talent.
Would
Yeah,
they
well,
not
yeah,
do
Keenan
it?
Allen is
Yeah.
Well, it's the thing. Keenan Allen's older. He's gonna be moving on at some point. Justin
Sadly.
Herbert wants that guy. He's gonna find that guy. You still have Mike Williams. You have Quentin Johnson. You could pick up DK if you wanted to, if you really, really wanted to. But DK to Kansas City makes a lot of sense. I don't like it, but it makes sense.
Could you imagine Patrick Mahomes chucking the
But
ball?
he doesn't
to
need
DK
him.
Metcalf?
That's the point. He doesn't need a DK Metcalf to win Super Bowls.
No,
he
he
did it with
doesn't.
Juju. He did it with Mecole Hardman.
But that's the thing. If they get a guy like DK, so before DK was drafted, I was saying that he was the next Megatron. He hasn't had the opportunity to physically. He's the next Megatron, and he hasn't had a quarterback to just feed him the fucking ball.
Yeah, he got the tail end of Prime Russ, and he's had Drew Lock and now Geno Smith, who is putting up good numbers with him, but
I want to see him go nuclear, and he can do it too.
I would love to see DK Metcalf go nuclear. That'd be awesome. All right, let's move on. Teams now. Are there any teams that we are extremely excited to see this season besides obviously our own teams?
I don't like my answer.
I'll go first. The Colts.
Go
I want to see what a shit show that thing's going to be.
So speaking of the Colts, James, I'll let you go next. But with the whole trade talk with Jonathan Taylor, where do you see him going? I know I've heard that there's 6 teams that are contacting the Colts, but I don't think those teams have been put out into the media.
I also heard Walmart is hiring too, just in case he doesn't get an offer.
Well, if he doesn't get an offer, then he's just going to stay with the Colts, and he's going to
play under Jim Irsay, because that's going to work out very well for him.
I think it's got to be Miami. I think Miami's
makes the most sense.
Matt, that team: Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, a potential Jonathan Taylor. At that point, it all depends on Tua.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I know you don't.
Keep him out of my division, please. Please keep him away.
I also like the Chiefs. Kind of makes sense. Like people connect the Chiefs, but like
they could use one.
I love Isaiah Pacheco. Like they have a good thing with him and whoever else. I can think of his name right now, but they have a good thing going with those two. Just keep it running. The Chiefs aren't going to make a move, especially because they have.
Very choppy for you. You were very choppy. Sorry, James.
Man, really?
Yeah.
The
yield connection. Yield connection is pretty rough.
Anyway.
I could. How about the Bears?
Oh, the Bears.
I've seen that. I don't know.
I mean, they like to invest in running backs. They have Khalil Herbert. I mean, who's going to be fine, but you get Justin Herbert, another weapon. It's not a bad offense.
No, not at all.
Justin who?
What?
Justin Fields. You said Herbert.
Did I say Herbert?
You did.
That's so funny because I thought Justin Fields in my mind and then said Justin Herbert out loud.
Hate when that happens.
Yeah. I'm gonna go die now. Justin Fields, another weapon in that offense. Pretty good.
I would like that. They are super tied on contract right now. They couldn't make that happen.
They could. They definitely could. But what about teams that we're not excited to watch this offseason? This season, excuse me. And I will also say the Colts because they're going to be garbage football.
Houston.
Zack, for better or
I don't think they're
worse.
gonna do
Yeah, the Colts. How about the Titans? I'm not excited to watch DeAndre Hopkins play for the Titans.
No, he's
At
gonna.
all.
No,
His
that's
career's
weird.
dead.
Yeah, it is weird. I mean, I don't know how many top-notch wide receivers they're just gonna have that are. It's literally the Fort Lauderdale of football.
Man,
Arizona.
have we all just given up on Ryan Tannehill as a quarterback too? Are we over this?
Yeah.
Is that done now?
Yeah.
All right, good. Thank God.
I understand stat-wise, great. As looking at stats in general, it's fine, but stats don't tell the whole story, and he's never been a good quarterback. Sorry.
I wouldn't say that.
I watched a lot of Ryan Tannehill in Miami, and he was never good. He was
Miami,
average, and he had flashes of good and flashes of great. But at best, he has been an average quarterback his entire life. And he has shown that he could be good, and he's had flashes in the pan of great. But that is it. On his average, on a normal day, he is well in the middle of average.
Yeah, I can agree.
I mean, his best season doesn't even touch like 20 other quarterbacks' best seasons just from this past year.
Okay.
Those are my
Fair
thoughts.
point.
But yeah, not excited to see pretty much any AFC South football. Maybe the Jaguars, actually. I'll retract that.
Dude, I got
yeah,
some hype
for the
for
Jags.
Jacksonville, dude.
Yeah, no, I'll hype the Jags, especially with Calvin Ridley now in the mix. That's gonna be
so
exciting.
good. He looks
What?
so good.
I didn't talk about
I think a
that.
player all of us want to see, Calvin Ridley.
I want this dude because last time we saw him, he was going off for 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns.
Oh my God, yes,
and he looks better than when he was playing 2 years ago.
Yeah, I also think I never understood there was like a hype. I think right before suspension for Calvin Ridley be like a dude because like Julio was gone. I've never really got him being like the lead guy in an offense. I think he's a good complementary piece, but like I think him and Christian Kirk are going to work well together.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Christian Kirk had an amazing season last year, and you're just adding another guy that can do extremely similar things to Christian Kirk, but in an opposite and equal capacity.
You know, we did bring it up, but DK to the Jags.
Why would they need that? But that's the thing. Why would they need him?
Yeah, I don't think they
Get
do
an
it.
ex-
If they have Calvin Ridley and they have Christian Kirk, why would they need to bring in DK Metcalf? They don't.
Especially if Calvin Ridley lives up.
Absurd.
lives
No,
up to
James,
the-
it's got to make sense. God damn it. But, anyways, yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much all of our preseason talk, and we expanded into pretty much 50 minutes of that. But I did want to move into our content for those of you that have stuck around, all 0 of you. Our football-related content for the season. Not a reveal, just a review here. Obviously, a couple things to keep in mind. Most of this stuff is going to be happening weekly. We have our sanity check draft that we just did.
That was fucking fun.
Amazing.
I had
More
so fucking great at it, dude. I love this draft.
We all had a fun time. The episode is up and out. If you guys want to check it out, definitely do that. But during the week, so the fun doesn't stop at the draft. Obviously, James's legs are grunting at us. So strange. The fun doesn't stop at the draft. So what I neglected to tell you, Nick, and obviously the outside world, is that during the week, each week, we will be spinning a wheel as well. So it's not going to have anything to do with, it's not going to change our teams, but it is going to change the stipulations in which how we set our lineups. So we have a couple of ideas that we floated out. So we spin a wheel, and whichever stipulation we land on, we have to abide by that rule for however long it goes. I believe each of our matchups is actually 2 weeks long.
Oh, okay.
So I think, wasn't it like that last year? Wasn't it 2 weeks long for each matchup? Yeah. So it's going to be the same thing. And I think what we should do is we can spin the wheel each week and just have each different stipulations. But 1 week we can only play players that have that come from a team that have red in the logo, or
Oh,
we can
Jesus
only play players
Christ.
that are over 6 feet tall or 6'2" or whatever. So there's going to be a lot of shuffling. There's going to be a lot of waiver wire pickup. There's going to be a lot of movement. So we're going to be spinning that wheel each week live during the show. And we'll obviously have to set our lineups that night or the night before, or, we'll spin the wheel to make sure that we have these set up. Because if you do not abide by the wheel, you lose. You will lose that matchup for the week. And if matchups are 2 weeks long, that is a big loss. So definitely make sure that you set your lineups and stuff like that. Abide by the rules of the wheel. The wheel of misery is what it's being called. So
okay. So my question is are we doing punishments for the end of?
Correct. Yes.
Okay,
so punishments are happening. So one team will get the punishment. So here's how this is going to work, because obviously there are 4 teams and all 4 of us make the playoffs. We're going to have, again, this is very wheel oriented, because why leave anything to us? Let's leave it to chance. The name of the loser, so the team that had the worst, oh my goodness, the manager that had the worst team in the regular season is one name that goes on the wheel. The other name is the team that won the shit bowl.
Okay.
Both of their names will go on a wheel, obviously have equal parts, and then we will spin, and whoever it lands on will have to take the punishment. Then we will have our wheel of punishments. Very, very 360 oriented here, clearly.
Cool.
But I think that is the best and most fair way of picking a loser and picking a punishment, so that there is no pushback, that there is no, crying of cheating or collusion or whatever bullshit. So that is how it's going to work. That is Sanity Check. So every week we'll have updates for you guys from us on our matchups, on the lineup settings, and how we have to set them from the Wheel of Misery. And so that's how it's going to go. And hopefully we'll have the punishment ideas out come playoff time. And, once the playoffs are over, we will spin the wheel and we will determine when we can do a punishment. And it's just more content for us and more humiliation for you to view, I guess.
Okay.
So, all right, cool. So next up on the docket. So we had our rookie QB bet. Obviously, I mentioned that earlier. I have Bryce Young. Nick has Anthony Richardson, and our poor ankle-related injury Drew has CJ Stroud. So we left James in charge of the punishment. He's the punishment commish. So James will be coming up with any sort of punishment that we have to endure. With this, however, the winner, there's only one winner, but there are 2 losers. So whoever loses has to endure a punishment with the other loser. So just keep that in mind, James. So it is a partner punishment.
Cool.
So that is how it's going to work. That might open up some creative avenues for you to think about. How it's going to work, pretty much, we're going to grade each quarterback on a number of criteria: total touchdowns, total yards, and things will be weighted. So obviously, we're looking at quarterbacks. So passing yards, passing touchdowns will be weighted more heavily than rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. That's just how it's going to go. We will have interceptions. We will have completion percentage. We will have what else? And then we will also do a passer rating and a touchdown interception ratio and all that kind of stuff. Everything's going to be weighted out so it's equal and fair. Not every QB is run oriented or whatever you may want to say, but we will have all that weighted out. But each week we'll have an update with the QB stats for those 3 rookies that we're looking at for the QB bet. And yeah, that's it. Now the big reveal, the biggest thing that is coming to all of our Boda people is our fantasy and betting show. So, what?
Rude.
What?
Nothing. Yeah, go on. Yeah, you're fine.
Why'd you say rude? I talked to you about this before the show
Yeah,
began.
go.
I talked to you earlier. I talked to you
Yeah,
earlier.
no, yeah.
Okay.
ahead.
So it's gonna be called Fantasy
I
Time.
thought
It's gonna be called Fantasy Time. So little play on Garbage Time. It's like Garbage Time's little like younger brother who's addicted to gambling and fantasy football. So we will be having weekly fantasy football content for you guys. Waiver wires, best pickups, who to sit, who to start, who to trade away, where to cry when you lose, inevitably. We will also be doing sports betting content as well. So we're not keeping it in the realm of football. Obviously, sports betting as a whole is very big, and I think all of us could benefit in talking about sports betting. I know James knows that he's getting his own little segment called "Fuck It Parlays" or whatever, how he wants to call it, because this man comes up with the dumbest 20-leg parlays I've ever seen in my entire life, and I'm just waiting for one to hit so we can all get rich. So that's our plan. What's that?
Not that much money. Relax.
What are you talking about? 20-leg parlay for $1, you win like 50 grand, dude.
You win 250,000.
That's still a lot of money for people that literally have $5 in their wallet.
I got $2.
I have literally $5 in quarters. Don't ask me why. I just do. That is our plan. So fantasy football content, sports betting content coming in a brand new podcast to you guys called Fantasy Time, adjacent to Garbage Time. Don't know when we're gonna run it yet. I'm thinking maybe we do it either definitely before or after Garbage Time on the same day, but we will be bringing that out to you guys. So look out for a logo drop, presentation this week, things like that. I'm working on it already, but that's our brainstorm. Do you guys have anything else that you want to add to the table, James? I know I can see that shit-eating grin from a mile away, so you have something that you want to say, you little bitch.
Yeah, thanks for pointing out that I'm also going to be doing college football live streams on Saturdays. We're going to be doing the watch parties for our game of the week, which we talked about before the show, and Zack completely fucking ignored.
I assumed that you were going to chime in. I assumed that you were going to say something. I'm sorry.
So anyway, you can join myself and my lovely fiance, Megan, as we watch college football, talk college football, and I teach a few things about college football. It's a lot of fun.
It's a good time. I've watched a couple of them. And I have to say I've gotten drunk by proxy just by watching those videos. So.
Oh, yeah. We get saucy sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, I definitely would love to be involved in that, especially if there's if you have a Georgia game on that's game of the week. I would love to be involved with that because I am a Georgia fan now, apparently. We talked about this. James knows. I was there before the championships. I was, all right? I was. James, fucking back me up. You know why I chose the Georgia Bulldogs, right? You remember. Really dumb fucking reason, but I chose them because of the running back room.
He does. Man loves his running backs.
Apparently. They're the most replaceable fucking thing on the planet, but I love them. Well, it's really all the content updates I have for you guys, obviously, with football really, really starting back up in 2 weeks from now with the first regular season game. We will have our brand new podcast out, labeled, wrapped up in a bow for you guys at the start of the season. But for now, you guys know where to find us. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on X. I wonder if that logo thing will ever update on here. We are on... My God, I'm losing my train of thought. Where else are we on? James.
TikTok.
It's so dark. We're on YouTube.
YouTube.
We might have content still left on Twitch. I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing anymore. We're on Threads or on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, pretty much wherever you want to listen to a podcast, we're on there, except for some stupid ones because they're stupid.
We don't talk about those.
Yeah, we don't talk about those guys. But for poor ankle boy Drew, for Nick, for James, I am Soggy Boy. Stay soggy.
Stay beautiful.
Let's can we get a unison? Can we get a unison?
Mm.
Bye.